Two men grow up in the same house, same parents, same values, same dinner table conversations. They attend the same schools, live in the same neighborhood, and step into adulthood with nearly identical opportunities. As the years unfold, their paths appear almost parallel. They choose similar careers, earn comparable salaries, raise families of their own. From the outside, nothing suggests their futures will look different. But at 65, the contrast is staggering. One wakes up each morning in complete financial peace. His home is fully paid off, his investment accounts generate income without effort. He travels when he wants, helps his grandchildren with tuition, and never hesitates over a restaurant bill. The other wakes up calculating. His savings are thin, his mortgage still has years left. Social Security isn't enough, so he works part-time not for fulfillment but for survival. He lies awake at night worrying about property taxes, medical bills, and how long his money will last. Same beginning, same earning power. Two radically different endings. The difference wasn't talent, it wasn't luck, it wasn't intelligence, it was timing. More specifically, it was what happened during their 40s. The divergence didn't happen in their 20s. In their 20s, both were building from nothing. It didn't happen in their 30s either. Those years were filled with young kids, career growth, and similar financial behavior. And by their 50s, the direction was already set. The gap was already widening. The real separation happened quietly between 40 and 50. Your 40s are the most financially decisive decade of your life. Not because they feel dramatic, but because they combine three forces that never align this perfectly again. The first force is peak earning power. For most professionals, income reaches its highest level somewhere between 42 and 55. The raises may slow, but the paycheck is larger than it has ever been. You finally have financial capacity. The second force is time. At 40, you still have roughly 20 to 25 years before traditional retirement. That's enough time for invested money to multiply significantly. A dollar invested at 40 doesn't just grow, it compounds. It works while you sleep. It stacks growth upon growth. But by 50, that compounding window shrinks dramatically. And by 55, the multiplier effect is far weaker. The third force is expense stabilization. By your 40s, many of the rapid growth expenses from earlier decades level out. The furniture is bought, the starter home is established, the chaos of early child rearing settles in. Financial breathing room begins to appear. But here's the catch. That breathing room can either become investment fuel or lifestyle inflation. These three forces, high income, remaining time, and stabilized expenses, create leverage. And leverage magnifies whatever direction you choose. If you invest intentionally during this decade, the results are powerful. If you consume everything you earn, the consequences are just as powerful. Most people don't lose their retirement in one dramatic mistake. They lose it through a series of reasonable decisions. The larger house because we've earned it. The upgraded vehicles because we can afford it. The vacations that get more elaborate every year. The private school tuition, the parent loans for college. Each decision feels justified, logical, even responsible. But what rarely gets calculated is the opportunity cost. That extra $1,500 per month on a bigger house isn't just a housing decision. Over 25 years, invested consistently, it can represent hundreds of thousands, sometimes over $1 million in future retirement wealth. The newer luxury vehicles don't just cost more up front. They cost more in interest, insurance, depreciation, and replacement cycles. Over decades, that difference compounds silently in the background. And compounding is either your greatest ally or your quietest enemy. The 40s also bring psychological pressure. You've worked for 20 years, you've sacrificed, you've proven yourself. There's a voice inside that says, when do I finally get to enjoy this? That voice is powerful, and it's understandable. But here's the trap. Lifestyle upgrades deliver short bursts of excitement. Freedom delivers decades of peace. The thrill of a nicer house fades within 2 years. The leather seats lose their novelty. The upgraded kitchen becomes normal.
Humans adapt quickly, but the financial consequences remain long after the emotional excitement disappears. Meanwhile, the person who resists that expansion may feel behind socially. Their house is smaller, their car is older, their vacations are simpler. But beneath the surface, something invisible is happening. Their investments are growing, their options are expanding, their future is strengthening. And by the time retirement arrives, the roles reverse completely. The modest spender in their 40s becomes the relaxed retiree in their 70s. The aggressive consumer becomes the anxious one. What makes the 40s so dangerous is that the math isn't obvious in the moment. 10 years feels short. Reducing retirement contributions for just a while feels harmless. But compounding doesn't forgive lost time. Money invested at 42 works for over 2 decades. Money invested at 52 works for half that time. You cannot compress time no matter how aggressively you save later. The decade between 40 and 50 either builds momentum or creates drag. And most people don't notice which one they're choosing until it's too late to fully reverse. If you're younger than 40, this knowledge is power. Build automatic investing habits now so they're untouchable later. Define what enough looks like before social comparison pressures you into expanding your lifestyle. If you're entering your 40s, recognize that you are stepping into the leverage years. Audit your housing decision carefully. Question vehicle upgrades. Protect retirement contributions like they are non-negotiable bills. If you're already in your late 40s and feel behind, don't shut down. Increase your savings rate immediately. Consider income growth moves. Explore downsizing earlier than later. Every percentage point matters. Because the 40s are not about restriction, they are about conversion. Converting income into assets. Converting peak earning power into permanent independence. Converting discipline into dignity. Imagine yourself at 70. It's early morning. Light comes through the window. In one version of that future, you feel calm. Your investments generate income, your home is secure. You decide how to spend your time based on desire, not necessity. In another version, you feel tension before your feet hit the floor. You're calculating expenses, watching balances, hoping nothing unexpected breaks. Both versions of you were built decades earlier, not by luck, not by accident, but by the financial habits practiced between 40 and 50. That decade will pass whether you are intentional or not. The question is simple. Will your peak earning years be consumed by lifestyle expansion or converted into lasting freedom? Because someday you will sit quietly and reflect on your life, and you will either thank your 40-year-old self or wish you could go back and make different choices. Your 40s don't just influence retirement, they define it. And the most powerful financial move you can make is recognizing that while you still have time to act. The leverage is real, the opportunity is real, and the version of your future self that you create is entirely up to you.